Climate disasters do not stop at state lines, and in Central Appalachia, neither does community. Jess Mullins Fullen grew up in Letcher County, Kentucky, and now resides across the state line in Southwest Virginia.
I was afraid of natural disasters as a kid, and something my granny would always say to me when I would start to spiral is the mountains will protect us. The mountains will protect us. I truly thought that and believed that until 2022.
I just kept seeing people that I knew who were on my Facebook, from back home, posting videos and pictures, and the commentary would be things like, I have never seen the water get this close up to my house. This is scaring me. And people kept growing progressively more anxious, and they're posting. It was 3 when I finally just drifted off to sleep. I woke up the next morning and went down to breakfast, and Letcher County was on the Weather Channel. And I felt so powerless because I wasn't at home, but we left the next day. It was all I could think about immediately. Got home, went over the mountain, and just saw how quickly people on the ground had mobilized to respond. And I think that what was so, I don't even really know the word, the learning curve in 2022 was that no one had responded to an acute disaster of that magnitude in their lifetime.
Communities had to learn in real time how to respond, and they did what they've always done here. They organized.
We know that we're the only people who can take care of each other. We really all do have to walk each other home, so to speak. And so, there are these mutual aids popping up. I really like mutual aid actors, because when I think about East Kentucky Mutual Aid, it's some people here and then some people up here, an hour away. And that is a natural network. And then when I think of formations like Lonesome Pine Mutual Aid, that's a group of folks who knew each other and organized together already. And when something happened, the impetus being COVID, people said, we're going to do something. We're going to do something. The trust level was already there. And then because of these mutual aids being in existence, another mutual aid over the mountain said, hey, I really like what you're doing. We could do something like that. So there are different approaches to every single mutual aid depending on who are the mutual aid actors driving it, and the amount of geography it covers, but each is responsive to the communities in its footprint. And I think what's really beautiful about all of these different mutual aids popping up is that we all know of each other. We all reference each other, and then we have these informal connections already that I think could really lead to some, and do and have led to really powerful, responsive impacts.
Even as mutual aid networks matured and coordination improved, the climate itself was shifting. Recovery was no longer about one event. It was about preparing for the next. And when Hurricane Helene swept through Central Appalachia, bringing historic rainfall and widespread damage across multiple states, it made that reality undeniable.
You start to think of normalcy as recovery goes on into the long term. And you start to think, okay, these are the lessons that we learned. They say that this will happen again, but we can breathe right now. And just when you start to be comfortable in thinking that, something like Helene happens. Which is the most costly storm in U.S. history, and one of the most deadly. And it impacted, again, a huge swath of the region. And then just when you're getting your bearings following Helene, it happens again. Like a couple of months later, it happens again. There keeps being these continual shocks to the system, and I just am like, this is really our new normal.
Climate disasters expose more than vulnerability to weather. They reveal the long history of economic neglect that communities have been navigating for generations.
When you look at your community and you see disinvestment, when you grow up hearing stories about disinvestment, what the mono economy brought, but what the mono economy taketh away once it also left. When you see crumbling physical infrastructure, buildings, roads, you think, oh gosh, what's the point of me showing up and using my voice, right? Well, there is a point, and it is important to me that we do whatever it takes to remember that we have power. There is power in our voice. There is power in our stories. And so, when I think of my hopes for my community, I hope for a thriving Appalachia where Appalachians are proud to be Appalachian and have whatever they need to stay in Appalachia, regardless of what generation you're hailing from, regardless of what your background or your creed is, regardless of what you look like, regardless of who you love, how you believe. You should be able to stay here and flourish here. And that, I think, in my mind, is what a resilient Appalachia looks like after a just recovery.